Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 5, Episode 3, Ensign Ro. This is a fantastic episode. This is really great. So, last season we introduced the Cardassians, who, as The Next Generation continues, their role gets bigger and bigger, and especially when we get into Deep Space Nine, like they're one of the main adversaries. And now, with this episode, we have now introduced the Bajorans, who are basically an enslaved race by the Cardassians. And this episode, it brings in all sorts of politics, but it does it in a very interesting way, where the Cardassians are basically just, like I said, they're enslaving the Bajorans. They're moving them around, they're conquering them, but because of our treaty with the Cardassians, the Federation is not allowed to intervene. So it's really interesting to kind of watch because throughout all of Star Trek, we've only seen the good side of the Federation, and now we're starting to see that darker side, which is what the Deep Space Nine is known for. Deep Space Nine is known for that dark side of the Federation, but we're slowly getting there with the Next Generation. Once again, we just kind of have this crazy admiral that's just doing things that we don't really know why, but he has his own agenda. So as we're going through this, we're learning about the Bajoran race, and then where the Enterprise is assigned Ensign Ro, who is a Bajoran. And it's interesting because she has a reputation in Starfleet, and this whole episode is kind of an allegory for like premeditated bias prejudicism. So nobody wants her on board, and because she's had all sorts of drama about being violent and not listening, stuff like that. There's a lot to it. Just watch the episode. So she beams aboard, and the second she's on board, Riker's like, you need to be in standard Starfleet uniform, because she has an earring, which is part of her people. Okay, let's back up for a second. Worf has been on the Enterprise for over 4 years now, and he has his Klingon sash. So already we're just not being fair to Ensign Ro. Now, what I love about this episode is Ro is having a difficult time because she knows that she will, and she knows that nobody likes her. And so, who saves the day? My girl, Guinan, comes in and is like, oh, do you want to be alone? And Ensign Ro's like, yes, I do. And Guinan just sits down and she's like, well, too bad, you're in my bar. And it's great. This is, once again, the reason I love Guinan so much. And I'm curious to know, like, if I could sit down with the writers someday, how much of Guinan's past they had already planned out. Because if you go back far enough, there's an episode where Geordi's talking to Guinan, and she's like, oh, I like bald men, because when I was young, a bald man he was kind to me, I think was her exact words. In this one, she doesn't necessarily say it again, but Guinan says that there's one man, a long time ago, that she had gotten herself into a lot of trouble, and one man helped her out of it. And then before she says who it is, it's a cut scene to Picard, and Guinan and Ro come in, and Picard's already like, I told you were assigned to quarters, and Guinan's like, she's my friend, and Picard's like, okay, there's something here, because he knows Guinan, and he can trust her, and he trusts her judgment. And so again, we're starting to get the sense that there's more to Picard and Guinan that we know of. And as we get further into the series, we realize how true that is. So I'm curious if that was just blind foreshadow, or if they knew what they were doing. I would love to sit down with the writers someday. So if any of you guys know that, here I am. So I really like this episode. It's really interesting. This is now the second time, I believe, that we've seen the Cardassians, and second of many, because from here on out, there are a lot of episodes, including some of my favorite episodes that I'm sure you guys can guess. So, for those who have seen this one, what do you guys think about the Cardassians and the Bajorans? We know the Next Generation had a rough start with creating new villains. They recreated the Klingons. They created the Ferengi, which was a flop. They recreated the Romulans. They've done a lot. So what do you guys think about the Cardassians? What do you guys think about the Bajorans going into Deep Space Nine? What do you guys think about all of that conflict? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for the YouTube subscriptions. And I will see you guys next time for Silicon Avatar.